students, we'll go with the next module, that is module number 1, Laplace transform. So to understand the topic, we'll start with the introduction. The Laplace transform method is a technique for solving linear differential equations with initial conditions. Now here linear differential equations means we have been already studied from PUC how to form a differential equation. Whenever a function is been given in terms of y and x, we differentiate it with respect to x and we form for a differential equation. So an equation containing an independent term, dependent term and its derivatives is termed as differential equation. So far we have found for the solution of this differential equations by number of methods, which methods were known as what? The analytical methods or theoretical methods. For example, variable separable method. What we used to do is we used to separate the variables and then integrate. To get the solution of differential equations, we always integrate, whether whatever might be the the equation. Okay, so to get the solution, we always integrate. Such a method was termed as what? Analytical method. Now some equations are there in which there are some complicated terms which cannot be integrated or cannot be solved by the methods what we have learned. That is for example for analytical methods. In such cases, we use the concept known as Laplace transform here. Here Laplace transform serves as a very useful tool in solving these problems without actually finding the general solution of the differential equations by various known methods. As I have already told you all, the methods which we were studying was variable separable method. Then we were solving for in the second semester, we were writing for dy by dx as capital D, and we were applying for type 1, type 2, type 3, such all the methods were applied, method of variation of parameters. Okay, so such methods when we have already learned and when we are trying to adopt, and if the equation is complicated and if we are not able to adopt those methods, in such cases Laplace transform is going to help us to get the solution. So in such whatever, hence we are going to apply for Laplace transform method. Now the word transform, now to understand what exactly it's going to do in this model is, suppose we want a product of two numbers, that is Roman numbers. I will take a Roman number 15, isn't it? Everybody knows how to write 15, that is x and v. X is representing 10 and v is representing 5, so total it is 15. I want the product between this x5 and 511. 511 means it is 7. I want the product between these two numbers 15 and 7. So if I give only these two numbers, are you able to get the product of that number? No. So we need to transform this number into a numerical number. These two are taken as Roman numbers. So when we are transforming this Roman numbers into numerical numbers, how we are getting the solution? x5 means 15, we are writing 15 as 15 here. Okay, v11 means it is 7. Can we multiply this? Yes, 15 sevens are 105. So I have got 105. This answer I am going to convert it into again Roman number. So 105. 100 is represented as C and 5 means V. So I have got the product of xv into 511, that is v11, that is 15 into 7 as CV. So in such cases we apply for transformation. We have converted Roman number into numerical number. Whatever answer we have got a numerical number is been converted to the Roman number. So we have transformed the data and we have got the solution. So this way the process is going to be done in Laplace transform. Now here we are going to talk for a time domain signal. you will be given for time domain signal, and we are going to convert it into a frequency domain signal. So this is S and this will be T. S will represent the frequency and T will represent the time. So time domain signal will be converted to frequency domain signal in this Laplace transform. So we'll understand for what is the definition of Laplace transform. So definition of Laplace transform is, if f of t is a real valued function defined for all t greater than or equals to 0. T greater than or equals to 0 means t must be positive. Then the Laplace transform of f of t denoted by Laplace transform of f of t is defined by, okay, here f of t, Laplace transform of f of t, which is denoted as what? L of f of t is defined by what? Laplace transform of f of t. How it is read? Laplace transform of f of t is equals to integral t equals to 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. This in turn, L of f of t can be represented as what? F of s. So f of s is nothing but Laplace transform of f of t. And Laplace transform of f of t is what? Integral t is equals to 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Provided the integral exists. Means the integration of this function must be existing. Okay. So as per the above definition, I told Laplace transform of f of t is denoted as what? F of s. It can be also denoted as f bar of s. Both are same. F of s, this is capital F of s, this is small f, and above it is bar. Both are same. Okay. Then if you take this L operator this side, if you take L operator this side, it will become L inverse of f of s. That is f of t. Whenever this L operator comes this side, it is termed as inverse Laplace operator. Here L is taken as a Laplace operator. Here it will become inverse Laplace operator. So the definition of L inverse will become L inverse of f of s equals to f of t. Here the function, when it is been given in terms of t, and when you take its Laplace, you are getting transformed into a frequency signal, that is answer will be in terms of s. When you are being given the answer in terms of s, and when you apply for L inverse, that is inverse operator, you will get your answer in terms of t. Means frequency domain signal has transformed into time domain signal. Okay. So this is the what definition of Laplace transform, which you have to keep it in mind. It's very important. Laplace transform of f of t, which is nothing but f of s, is equals to integral t equals to 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. With this, we are going to go with the further part, that is we are going to see for some Laplace transform of some elementary functions. So these are very important as per, if you have to know for the topic, we have to know the Laplace transform of elementary functions. So the first function I am going to take it as a. I have to find the Laplace transform of a, where a is a constant. To start, we have to consider the definition. Okay, so I'll consider the definition. Laplace transform of f of t is integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. In place of f of t, you substitute a, because I want Laplace transform of a. So where all f of t is there, substitute a. So Laplace transform of a is equals to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st, and in place of f of t it is a. A is acting as a constant, it will come outside the integral sign. Remains inside is integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st dt. Next, as we know, integration of e raised to x is what? E raised to x upon a. If you compare this with this, here a is minus s and x is your t. So it will come it as e raised to minus st upon minus s. This minus s will come out, remains is e raised to minus st. Limits ranging from 0 to infinity. Upper limit is infinity. Where all t is there, substitute infinity. So e raised to minus infinity it will become. This is upper limit minus lower limit e raised to minus 0. So we know that e raised to minus infinity is 0. E raised to minus infinity is 0. E raised to minus 0 is 1. So here 0 minus 1. That's the answer. Laplace transform of A is A by S. If you are having Laplace transform of 2, it will become 2 by S. Laplace transform of 3 by S. Similarly, if you take A is equals to 1, then Laplace transform of 1 will become 1 by S. So this is one result, that is Laplace transform of a constant is constant divided by S. A special case, Laplace transform of 1 is 1 by S. You have to keep a note of these two formulae. Next, I have to see with next Laplace transform of e raised to at. So, again I will consider the definition of Laplace transform of Laplace transform. So, Laplace transform of f of t is equals to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Therefore, Laplace transform of e raised to at now I want. So, f of t, where all f of t is there, substitute e raised to at. So, integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st into e raised to at dt. You are not going to apply integration by parts because these two functions are same, exponential function. So, we need to simplify by here bases are same, powers get added. So, minus st plus at. Once I finish, take minus and t common. So, when I take minus sign common and t common, I will get e raised to minus of s minus a into t. Why did I take minus sign? If I don't take minus sign common, this will become minus s plus a, which will become e raised to infinity. And e raised to infinity is infinity. E raised to infinity is infinity. So, infinity minus anything cannot will be infinity. So, we have to take negative sign common here. So, when you substitute, if you would not take a negative sign common, so it will become plus and this will become minus, this will become plus. So, this would become infinity. So, e raised to plus infinity will become infinity and e raised to 0 is 1. So, infinity minus 1 cannot be done and it is not valid. So, we are taking negative sign common here. So, this becomes e raised to ax. E raised to x integration is e raised to ax upon x. Limits ranging from 0 to infinity. Minus 1 upon s minus a will come out. Remains e raised to minus of s minus a into t. Upper limit is infinity. Infinity into anything is infinity. So, e raised to minus infinity minus e raised to minus 0. So, this is 0. This is 1. So, 0 minus 1. So, answer is here minus of minus it will become plus. So, Laplace transform of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. Similarly, we can write for the result Laplace transform of e raised to minus at. Just replace a by minus a. So, when you substitute here it will become plus a. So, 1 upon s plus a. Next result, excuse me. The next result we are going to come is Laplace transform of cos hyperbolic at. So, what is here when we are talking for hyperbolic functions, keep it in mind that we are having a relation for cos hyperbolic theta. E raised to theta plus e raised to minus theta upon 2. Try to substitute in the whatever Laplace definition or directly you can take here. Take Laplace on both sides. Now, I want cos hyperbolic at. In place of theta, you take it as at. So, it will become e raised to at plus e raised to minus at upon 2. I will take Laplace on both sides. So, Laplace of cos hyperbolic at is equals to Laplace of e raised to at plus e raised to minus at upon 2. Here, 2 2 will come out, so 1 by 2, and I'll separate Laplace on both the terms. So Laplace of e raised to at plus Laplace of e raised to minus at. As we have already derived, for Laplace of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. Laplace of e raised to minus at is 1 upon s plus a. Taking the LCM and simplifying, LCM here it is s plus a and here it is s minus a. So 1 into s plus a is s plus a, plus 1 into s is plus s, plus 1 into minus a is minus a. So total, excuse me, you will get here as s plus s minus a upon s minus a into s plus a. A will get cancelled, s plus s it is 2s upon a minus b into a plus b it is a square minus b square. 2 will get cancelled. Laplace transform of cos hyperbolic at is s upon s square minus a square. Here we cannot apply for the definition because we don't have integration of, we don't have the integration of e raised to minus st into cos hyperbolic at. Here what happens is you have to substitute for cos hyperbolic at as again e raised to at plus e raised to minus at upon 2, and your 1 by 2 will come out. Integration of e raised to minus st into e raised to at plus e raised to minus st into e raised to minus at you have to perform. Bases are same, powers get added. So e raised to minus of s minus a into t. Why did I take minus sign common? Because I want e raised to minus, since I am having the limit 0 to infinity. Okay. Plus e raised to minus of s plus a into t dt. So this function, if you are integrating, you will get your answer. Separately you have to integrate and substitute upper limit minus the lower limit. This is also possible. Instead of going such a lengthy, I have shown you this method, that is substituting directly and taking L on both sides. Whenever hyperbolic function comes, try to take its exponential terms and evaluate. Okay. Similarly, Laplace transform of sine hyperbolic at. Here sine, we know that sine hyperbolic theta is given by e raised to theta minus e raised to minus theta upon 2. In place of theta it is at. So e raised to at minus e raised to minus at upon 2. Taking L on both sides, that is Laplacian operator on both sides. 1 by 2 outside. So Laplace transform of e raised to at minus Laplace transform of e raised to minus at. We are having Laplace transform of e raised to at. We are having Laplace transform of e raised to minus at. Substitute. Take the LCM. LCM is s plus a and here it is s minus a. S plus a as it is. Minus 1 into s is minus s. Minus 1 into minus a it will become plus a. Simplifying, for s will get cancelled. 2a upon s square minus a square. So Laplace transform of sine hyperbolic at is a upon s square minus a square. So likewise, we are going to go with some more elementary functions. One is Laplace transform of cos at. Now here it is trigonometric function. There it was hyperbolic. Now here it is trigonometric. So there are two ways. Either you take the definition of Laplace transform, or you can take the definition of cos theta, how I wrote for hyperbolic theta. Okay. So I will solve it, this definition in terms of exponential. We know that cos theta is what? E raised to I theta plus e raised to minus I theta upon 2. When it is hyperbolic, I will not come. If hyperbolic it is, that time I will not come. Here it is trigonometric, so I will come. Now I want cos at, means where all theta is there, substitute at. So e raised to I at plus e raised to minus I at upon 2. Now take L on both sides. When we take L on both sides, here it will become 2 will come out and Laplace operator will get distributed to both of the terms. I am having Laplace transform of e raised to at, but now here I am having e raised to I at. So consider this as totally a, and we know that Laplace transform of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. Now in place of a it is ia, so write here ia. So similarly e raised to minus iat will become 1 upon s plus ia. Take the LCM, simplify, you will get the Laplace transform of cos at. As I have told you, two methods are there, which is one is cos theta definition or else by definition of Laplace transform. I will show how to solve with definition also. Laplace transform of f of t is integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. I am finding the Laplace transform of cos at. So Laplace transform of cos at means replace where all f of t as cos at. So this becomes e raised to minus st into cos at. If you observe, it is a product of two functions, e raised to minus st into cos at. So how to get its solution? We cannot integrate this by parts because it will become recurring. So if it is recurring, we will get the solution in lengthy manner. So there is a standard formula for whenever you are having a product of an exponential function and a cos, or exponential function into sine. That time we are having a formula. Integration of e raised to at into cos bt dt is equals to e raised to at upon a square plus b square upon a cos bt plus b sin bt. It's very important to be noted down. Formula for e raised to at. So now in place of a it is minus s, in place of b it is a. So where all a is there, substitute minus s, where all b is there, substitute a. So here I will get my simplified form and directly I have to write the limit as 0 to infinity. E raised to minus st upon minus sd square, it will become plus s square plus a square minus s cos at plus a sin at. Limits ranging from 0 to infinity. Now substitute upper limit minus the lower limit. E raised to minus infinity is what? 0. 0 into anything is 0. Minus lower limit is 0. E raised to minus 0, here e raised to minus 0, minus s into cos 0 because t is 0, a into sin 0. Sin 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1. E raised to minus 0 is 1. So minus s into minus it will become plus s. So Laplace transform of cos at is s upon s square plus a square, which is same as the previous one. Similarly, we can go for Laplace transform of sin at. Again, definition of sin theta is e raised to I theta minus e raised to minus I theta upon 2i. In place of theta, you take it as at. Take L operator on both sides. Simplify it. Once you get simplified form, take the LCM and that will be the answer for Laplace transform of sin at. The same I was asking for the Laplace transform of sin at. If we are considering with the definition of Laplace transform, this works like this. Laplace transform of f of t is equals to integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. In place of f of t, substitute sin at. It is a product of a exponential and a sine function. So use the standard result here. In place of s, it is a. In place of b, it is a. So simplify the terms. Upper limit minus the lower limit. You will get the sine function's Laplace transform. When you simplify this, it will be Laplace transform of sin at. Next, the last elementary function, which is standard now, which is very important. I have to find the Laplace transform of t raised to n. We again will consider the definition now of Laplace transform. Where all f of t is there, substitute t raised to n. It is a product of two functions where one is exponential and another one is algebraic. Whenever it is a product of two functions, we have to apply integration by parts. Algebraic function is always the first function. Exponential function is your second function. So this is your u and this is your v. Applying for u into v rule now. This is u into integration of v minus double integration of v into differentiation of u. We are talking with respect to t, so this integration is with respect to t. Now e raised to minus x st will become e raised to minus st upon minus s, limits ranging from 0 to infinity, minus one integration of e raised to minus st is e raised to minus st upon minus s. One integration will remain, and derivative of t raised to n is n into t raised to n minus 1, which I have written over here. Upper limit, when you are taking here, upper limit is e raised to minus infinity, that will become 0. 0 into anything is 0. So this term will go. 0 into anything is 0. So the first part will get vanished. This n will come out and this minus of minus it will become plus. So n by s, and remains inside is e raised to minus st t raised to n minus 1 dt. As per the definition, if you see, I am remained with this much. Integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. If I consider, it is Laplace transform of f of t. What is f of t here? T raised to minus n. If I am applying here integration by parts, product of two functions, again if I apply the integration by parts, I will get here n minus 1 upon s into Laplace transform of t raised to n minus 2. Again if I apply by definition, that is here it will become e raised to minus st t raised to n minus 2. Simplify by applying parts, I will get n minus 2 upon s, and here remains t raised to n minus 3. This way when it is continuing, I will get n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, so on till 1 it will end, and it will become Laplace transform of t raised to n minus n, that will become 0, and s will come in the denominators. T raised to 0 means it is 1, and Laplace transform of 1 is 1 by s, already we have seen. N into n minus 1 into n minus 2, so on till 1, it will be what? N factorial. This is so on, it will become n factorial, and this s will become n times. These s are n times, and this is one more 1 by s. So this becomes n factorial upon s raised to n into 1 upon s. Therefore, Laplace transform of t raised to n is n factorial upon s raised to n plus 1. This is what the Laplace transform of t raised to n. This can be also represented as gamma of n plus 1 upon s raised to n plus 1. As we know that from second semester, gamma of n plus 1 is always equivalent to n factorial. So, in place of n factorial, you can take gamma of n plus 1. So, these are the standard results of elementary functions which are going to help us for the problems. So, if you know this table, sufficient for this chapter. So, I have drawn for a table, you go through it and bahar these all the formulae. Laplace transform of A is A by S. Laplace transform of K is K by S. Laplace transform of 2 is 2 by S. Laplace transform of 3 is 3 by S, and so on. Laplace transform of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. Laplace transform of e raised to minus at is 1 upon s plus a. Laplace transform of cos hyperbolic at is s upon s square minus a square. Sin hyperbolic at is a upon s square minus a square. For hyperbolic function, here comes negative, and for cos it will come s, sin it will come a. Cos at it will become s upon s square plus a square. For hyperbolic it is minus, for trigonometric it becomes plus, or rest all terms are same. For sin at it will become a upon s square plus a square. Here comes plus. T raised to n is gamma of n plus 1 upon s raised to n plus 1. T raised to n, one more formula can be written as n factorial upon s raised to n plus 1. And Laplace transform of 1 is 1 upon s. Okay. So this table is very important. In the next class, we'll see with the problems. Thank you.